Good afternoon, everybody. It's Real Estate on I-25 Talk Radio, KCBR 1040 AM, 98.5 FM, right here in beautiful downtown Colorado Springs. We're outside.
Oh, my goodness, we're outside.
Amy's got an umbrella.
I have an umbrella.
It's too sunny. Amy Lass and Joe Clement here. Sponsored by RE/MAX Properties, 4 locations. Of course, we're right here in beautiful downtown Colorado Springs at 102 South Tejon. We've got Chapel Hills Drive, 1740 Chapel Hills Drive. We've got Monument, Lake Woodmore Drive, and down south rather at 2630 Tenderfoot Hill Street. That's RE/MAX Properties, 4 locations. Catch us on the web, homescolorado.com, or one beautiful number, 719-540-HOME, 540-HOME.
That's right.
That's the number. You can get any of our fabulous 210 wonderful broker associates that are ready to serve you with all your real estate needs. RE/MAX Properties, that's us.
That's right. You can get any real estate services by calling that number.
All right, so here's the deal.
What is the deal?
Well, we're right here on the corner.
Is it 100 degrees out here?
It's, what is the temperature? What did Lee just say? 70 something. It's 70. I don't know. You know, it feels warmer because the sun's right there, but, you know, the sun is moving. It's moving, so we're going to be okay. We're downtown. We're having fun, and here's the deal. It's the Easter Bunny's coming, so we're going to talk about that. We got the Easter Bunny, and hopefully he's going to bring RE/MAX Properties some buyers.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because we have over 700 listings now that we're trying to sell, and we need buyers. So call us. We've got some great homes for you and some great deals. Here's the latest statistics from the Pikes Peak Association of Realtors. Today, April 18th, 2014, 3,625 homes for sale. And that is up, ladies and gentlemen, from last March. It was 3,069. So 600, 500 plus more today for sale than a year ago.
Yep.
That's interesting how that's happened. So, the solds, we're rocking and rolling with solds, though. We got 2479 sold so far this year, and last year at this time we had 2189. So we're ahead on solds.
Wow, on both.
Well, that's because we have more for sale, so we have more sold.
Still.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I do, but I guess I'm surprised because we had such a slow start to the year, and last year we had such a fast start to the year. So I didn't expect that.
We started out slow, but March kicked it in, and now it's paying off. Here we go. It's 2479 sold. Here's the breakdown: 0 to 250,000 in price equates to 1,628 closed sales, and that price range at 66% of the market. So below 250.
Yeah.
All right, 250 to 500 is 754. That's 30% of the market in that 250 to 5 range. And then it drops off a cliff. 500 to 750 is 79 homes, which is 3%. And then 750 to a million, there's only 12, which is 0.5%. And then a million and over, there's only 6, and that's 0.5 as well. So only 4% over 500,000.
So you know what this means?
What does it mean?
We could have predicted this.
Oh.
Colorado Springs was voted second most affordable city to raise a family in.
Aha.
There you go.
Well, there it is, folks.
Did you see that?
Well, 66% of the houses selling are
No, that we were just named that. I saw it on Facebook, but I can't remember where we were. Yeah,
I didn't see that.
was reading it on my phone, so I don't remember.
Well,
I'll have to look it up.
Wow.
Yeah. Second most affordable city in the nation to raise a family.
Who was first?
I don't know.
Someplace in Mississippi.
Hey!
Arkansas. Where?
I don't know.
You know what? Wherever it is, Amy, it's not as beautiful and wonderful as here.
I cannot imagine that it is.
That's for sure.
No.
So I'm excited about that.
Okay,
Good. All right. So where are the 500 plus homes selling? That little 4%. Black Forest has got 6. Briargate's got 6. That's Pine Creek. Northwest has 13. Northgate has 13. Southwest has 13, and once again leading the pack on 500 and above, it's Tri-Lakes.
There you go.
Yeah, people from Denver coming on down and buying a house in the Tri-Lakes area.
Yep.
It happens. We like it. It's good. Interesting. All right. So we don't have much change in the statistic data from last week. The statistical data, the 66% and 30 and all that is about equal to what we had about a week ago. So nothing's changing too much, but we are ahead of 2013's pace right now with the closed sales at 24.79. So
yeah.
So busy. Interest rates holding around 4.3, 4.4, 30-year fixed, a little lower on the VAs and FHAs.
Yeah.
So that's good. So everything is positive. And finally, the weather is breaking, Amy.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's why we're sitting outside. We said, okay, let's go outside today because it's going to be over 70.
Well, and according to the weather on my phone, it thinks it's 63, but it sure feels warmer.
That must be out at the airport.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's warm. It's
It's
warm
toasty.
downtown. Yeah, I wish I had a short sleeve shirt on. All right.
I could get you an umbrella.
This weekend we have all kinds of fun stuff, and then next Wednesday at the World Arena, I'm talking about community events now.
Okay, good.
We got this little guy, Hunter Hayes, coming. He's 22 years old. He's a huge country star, and he's coming down to the World Arena. I think it's on the 23rd. It's Wednesday the 23rd at, I don't know, 7 o'clock, I think.
Yep, that's right.
Hunter Hayes.
7 p.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So then, we've got a bunch of things going on this weekend. It's Easter Sunday, and there's Easter egg hunts.
Yeah.
That's
all
all
over
we're going
town.
to talk about is Easter egg hunts. We're not going to talk about anything else about it. It's a wonderful weekend for families and
We can't
people
talk
to
about
get together.
brunches?
Brunches we're going to talk
All
about.
right, all right.
Absolutely. Well, the Fountain Creek Nature Center from 9 to 11, and then again at 1.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
This is all on Saturday, not on Sunday, so you could go down there. And then it's Fountain Creek and Bear Creek Nature Center. So both nature centers, two great spots.
Yeah.
Beautiful places, are having chocolate bunny walk and egg hunt. Chocolate fans, raise your hand. Oh my God, everybody's raising.
Well, I'm a fan of
Yeah.
the nature center, so that would be so much fun.
I think it'd be cool. All right, so here's some of the other things that's going on. Chapel Hills Mall, Saturday at 11. They've got a little thing going on. Pictures with the Easter Bunny. We've got at the Bass Pro Shop. That's a good place to have an Easter egg hunt at the Bass Pro Shop. They have all kinds of animals and things up there. They're not alive though. Okay, look at this. An Easter tea at 2:30 on Friday. And it's 11 and 2:30 on Saturday, 2:30 on Friday. Okay. Glen Airy Castle.
Ooh.
Easter tea. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a bunny craft at 4 o'clock on Friday and 1 o'clock on Saturday. And that's at Bass Pro Shop.
Okay, cool.
I don't know what a bunny craft is. Do you?
Well, maybe they're gluing cotton balls onto popsicle sticks. I don't know.
That's cool. Victorian Easter egg hunt, 10 a.m. Saturday, Miramont Castle.
Ooh.
That's in Manitou. All right. I'm liking it so far.
Uh-huh.
Easter block party, 10 a.m. Saturday, YWAMSF. What is that? I thought I said it was going to be the YMCA, but that's it. YWAMSF.
Wow.
And, well, anyway, it's at 505 Pope's Bluff Trail. I don't know what that is. Okay. There's an Easter egg hunt at the Chapel of Our Savior Church, 8 4th Street. I don't know where that is, but good for them. Okay, here's your brunches. You've got them everywhere from, they're in alphabetical order. I'll just read fast. Academy Hotel, Antlers Hotel, Bonefish Grill, Cheyenne Mountain Resort, Doubletree, Idlewise German Restaurant, Embassy Suites, Flatirons American Bar and Grill, Hotel Elegante, Jose Muldoon's, La Bistro, McKinsey's Chop House, Margarita at Pine Creek, Melting Pot, Over Easy, Any Daytime Eatery. They have two places now. One up the street here on Tejon and
That's
one
right.
out at University Village.
Yep.
The Pinery on the Hill, Stagecoach Inn. Those are just some of the great places you can have an Easter brunch
Wonderful.
on Sunday after church or something. If you go to church, there you go. That's what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Famous has got something going on. They have surf and turf at $49 with a Caesar or iceberg wedge. Holy cow! That's not an Easter brunch. That's just heavy
That's
duty.
just
That's
dinner.
heavy duty. Yeah. All right. The Go magazine is what I'm looking at, folks, and it's loaded with things to do this weekend. There's some great events coming up. You can go to Gazette.com and grab this if you don't have a newspaper delivered at your house. Ain't you?
I hope so.
Yeah.
We should check.
Yeah. But lots of good things happening this Easter weekend. So get out and enjoy some of the wonderful things that are going on in our beautiful city of Colorado Springs. I'm looking for movies. Oh, look at what's at Kimball's. Joe. They finally did a movie about me.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no, it's rated R. That's not me.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it's starring Nicolas Cage. I wouldn't have cast him to play you, but a little artistic license
yeah,
there.
a guy with a beard and everything. This looks like a bad movie.
It's not
Don't
you?
go there.
It's not you?
No, that's not me. Good title, bad movie. No, I don't know.
I didn't know you could read.
She's reading. I'm just looking. I'm looking at the pictures. People walking by. That's a
Getting
real trick
heckled.
for you.
That's awesome.
All right, so here's the coming events at the Pikes Peak Center and or the World Arena. I told you about Hunter Hayes, but there's one coming that's kind of fun that I like that I'm going to try to go to, and that's B.B. King. And that's on the 14th of August, so plenty of time. Who else is in here? Look at this. The Temptations, September 17th. Well,
The Temptations?
well, it is, but you know they've had some fellows retire, and they've got some newer guys. But that's September 17th. That's coming up. Wow. I mean, that's not coming up right away, but let's plan on that one. Also coming up at the World Arena is C.S. Lewis. It's a little play called "It's a Great Divorce." That's not at the World Arena, is it? Or is that at the Pikes Peak Center? You can't tell with this ad.
Oh, it must be because it says
Pikes Peak Center.
Yeah.
I think that's Pikes Peak Center. Okay. All right, we're going to get out of this and get into back into real estate here. There's a movie I want to see, Amy. It's called Bears.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a documentary nature deal all about the bears.
That's great.
Cute little bear family.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Is it-
The
is it-
Bears.
is
It's
it
not
those
the
Bears?
Bears.
Oh,
No, that's the
oh.
Chicago Bears. But the movie,
I totally
The Bears.
thought you were talking about the Chicago Bears.
No. It gets a B rating. I don't know why it's not A. But it's playing all over town, the Bears. It just started. My little grandson is in second grade, and they said they were going to take a field trip. Now, see, this has changed. Life has changed.
Okay.
They're going to take a field trip, and the class is going to go see that movie Bears all together.
Oh.
I think that's cool.
Yeah.
We never got to go see a movie. Did we have movies when I was in second grade? Shut up. What are you talking about? Come on. Of course we did. Anyway. Yeah, I think they cost 12 cents, too. No, maybe 25.
Is that Cirque du Soleil? What the heck is that?
Yeah, that's coming, too. Friday, April 25th. Arnold Hall. That's up at the Air Force Academy.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff.
Have you ever seen the Cirque show, Joe?
No.
It's interesting.
Yeah, no, I've never been, but I like a lot of concerts and a lot of things that are going on. And you know, I got to see America, Michael McDonald. I keep missing good ones though too. I missed Tower of Power.
Oh, yeah, darn it. Well, you had a good excuse.
All the horns. Oh, before we go to our guest, the Best of Springs came out.
Yay!
And I just have to compliment.
Wow, and the cover is gorgeous this year.
It's really thick with, you know, you can get the best wine store. Now, we didn't win the best radio store or radio show.
Did we
or
not?
Best radio station.
Did we even vote for ourselves? I don't think we checked on that.
For real estate relocation office, number 1, Remax Properties.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But then
And
we
in
want
all
to know.
fairness, we deserve that.
We want another one. I got to tell you, it's pretty good. Franchised real estate office, gold, first place, Remax Properties.
That's fantastic.
I'm loving it. But moreover than that, we had one of our agents who won Best relocation agent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if I can find it, it's, and her name is Treasure Davis. And it says, real estate relocation specialist, Gold Treasure Davis.
That is fantastic.
Chapel Hill's office. Congrats, Treasure.
That is
way
phenomenal.
to go. Yeah, she won something last year, too. She does great. And we're proud of you, Treasure. You know, she's a treasure, and I ought to write a song about her.
Do you write songs?
No.
We've been on the air a long time, Joe. I've never heard any of your stuff.
Yeah.
You've been holding
Actually,
out.
wait. Oh, there is a song about her. Bruno Mars sings it. Never mind.
Oh.
He beat me. He beat me to the punch. When that song came out, I went right to Treasure. I was walking down the hall. I go, "Did they write this song about you?" She goes, "Of course."
Of course.
What do you think? It's about me, of course. And I made some smart remark. I said, "I forgot that the world revolves around you." No, I was just kidding. She's a great gal and a great real estate.
She really is.
Great real estate professional. All right, so, I mean, this is a fun thing to look at. I don't know how it all happens. I guess a bunch of people vote, and that's how we got that. But, I mean, they got the best bike shop, the best bowling alley. I mean, it's all in here. Natural Meat Market. Ranch Foods won that. Butcher.
Where is Ranch Foods?
Butcher, Andy's Meat Market.
Where is that?
I don't know. Don't worry about it. You don't eat meat. You don't have to worry about it. That Ranch Food is on El Paso off of Fillmore.
Oh, sure. Ranch Foods Direct. It's right there.
Yeah. Health food stores, Whole Foods Market. Okay. Huh. Oh, look at this. Hardware store, Ace Hardware. You know what? That's always been my favorite hardware store. And the one I like to go to is in the Bond Shopping Center.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, those guys are so friendly, so nice. What are you looking for, bud? I need a widget. Oh, it's right over here, third aisle. Whereas you walk into a big box and you go, help, and it echoes, and nobody's around, and you're in there roaming around like you're lost for a week. They do a great job, too, but I like the little smallness of the Ace Hardware. That's cool that they won that. Well, this is interesting. Men's fashion. Kohl's.
For real? What?
And then silver was Joseph Bank, and then bronze was Men's Warehouse.
Okay, see.
All right, that's a different men's fashion.
Well, but this is starting to make me nervous.
Well, those people, they sell a lot of clothes, and you know, they have a lot of people voting for them, I guess.
Well, I don't think Treasure got voted for because she just sells more houses than other people.
No,
I think she's a truly phenomenal realtor, so it makes me nervous to have her compared to the Kohl's men's department.
No. Now, see, here's a good one. Trails. The best trail in town, Guard of the Gods. And then the number 2 was Manitou Incline, and then the number 3 was Red Rock Canyon.
Huh.
Well, that's close. Those are great. And then, the best mountain bike trail, the Santa Fe Trail.
Well, of course.
Of course. So, it's great. Oh, my gosh, they're getting into best high school coach. I mean...
That's awfully nice to get recognized.
This book, the best Colorado sports mascot. You know who won that? In our city, Sox the Fox. For the Sky Sox.
Okay.
Yeah. Best golf course. Patty Jewett. Second was the Broadmoor.
Interesting.
Third was Eisenhower up at the Air Force Academy. Wow, there's some fun stuff in this booklet. You know, I like it. So go grab a Gazette or go online and look at the
best of.
Yeah, best of Springs. There's just a lot of good stuff in there. Ooh, best green chili. This is important to my family, my boys. Ready?
Yeah.
King's Chef Diner.
Is that even true?
Yes, it is. Yes, my boys, they know. El Taco Rey was second, and Western Omelet was third. I'm not sure about those two.
Huh.
I don't know. But I know King's Chef's Diner is really...
Have you ever eaten at the little trailer over there?
I have.
Yeah?
Yeah, I like their little restaurant over there on Nevada. So anyway, I'm liking what I see here. It's just really fun to go through this. But we need to get back to real estate. This is Real Estate on I-25 Talk Radio. But, before we bring on our guest, we probably ought to say that this is KCBR, 1040 AM and 98.5 FM. And we are sponsored by RE/MAX Properties, 4 great locations. One right here downtown where we're broadcasting from today. And I think, if it's all right with you and everybody back at the station, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. And we're back. This is Real Estate on I-25 Talk Radio, 1040 AM on the dial, 98.5 FM. And you can catch us on the web if you want to sit at your computer, homescolorado.com. Go to homescolorado.com and click on radio, listen live. This program is brought to you by RE/MAX Properties, 4 locations: Monument, Chapel Hills Drive, Tenderwood Hill Street down south, and right here at 102 South Tejon. We're broadcasting outside.
Gorgeous out here.
Amy's got an umbrella over her head.
That's right. Heck yeah, I do.
Fair-skinned child. What is all that noise, Reagan? Turn that down. All right. So here we go. We're back to real estate. We're going to talk real estate. And right now we've got a guest coming in here in a sec. We talk about our sales. We talk about selling. We sell a lot of houses. We sell the most houses out of anybody in the city, and have since 1989. But here is the deal. In the last 6 years, we have developed a property management division, and we used to have about 50 homes we managed, and that means, the owners ask us to manage them while they rent them. It's called property management. And we had 50 in 2006, and today we have 650. Insanity. No, it's a whole different world. So we wanted one of the property managers to come in and talk about how that all works, and I'd like to welcome to the show one of our great property managers, Mark Jones. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, Mark, I'm glad to see you're still standing. You're sitting, but you're still standing as far as after how many years? About 5 years of property management now?
Actually, we're 3 3/4 years.
Okay, so almost 4. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and when Mark came and said he wanted to do property management, I said, only if you do it with Lisa, your wife, because she is a champion.
She is a genius. She really gets it. She saves me every single day.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, Lisa Jones has been a teacher at Kaplan Real Estate School for years. I don't know if she's still teaching.
She is. Actually, she was one of my instructors when I got my license 12 years ago.
She was one of my instructors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she's still instructing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's exactly right. So that combination of Mark and Lisa are great, because Mark's the doer. He's out there running around doing stuff, meeting people, getting the houses going, meeting the landlords, and then Lisa's the one that really kind of checks the paperwork and makes sure everything's going great in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot to it for sure.
Yeah, no. So let's just talk about it. So why did we go from 50 to 650? I think one of the reasons is the market. So you can talk about how some of these sellers couldn't sell, and they came to, we have 6 property managers. Mark and Lisa are considered one of that group. But go ahead and talk about that and how this all kind of transpired over the last 6 years.
Well, I mean, really, when we started this 3 3/4 years ago, we had one income property, the one that I owned down the Broadmoor Glen. We saw there was such a huge need for this. We saw the market shifting, and we just kind of jumped on it, and thankfully with your blessing, we were able to, succeed.
Sometimes we roll the dice.
Right. But, 95% of the properties that we manage, and just Lisa and I, we try to stay about 135 to 140 single-family homes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And, the owners, they don't want to be landlords. They are stuck. They are in a position where they are upside down. They cannot sell.
Yeah, let's explain that. Upside down means there's more loans on the property than the value. So they could be a $300,000 house, and they owe $310,000.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at one time it was probably a $350,000 house or a $375,000 house, but the value has dropped. The comparables in the neighborhood aren't that great, And so they go to try to sell, and it doesn't sell because it's not going to sell for $375 anymore.
Yep.
And they go, oh my God, I don't want to ruin my credit. I don't want to lose the house. And they call you.
Yep, exactly. And we really have to bust our tail to put a good quality tenant in the property that's going to take care of it, because eventually these people want to sell. As soon as the market turns around and they can break even or put a few dollars in their pocket,
right.
They want to move on.
Yeah. So I really like you to talk about, you really scrutinize the tenant. And what I mean by that is there's a credit check, there's a background check, and that you're working on behalf of the landlord, and you need to do that to make sure you're going to have a good tenant there that's going to take care of the property, who's also going to pay.
Right, exactly.
So go ahead.
What we do is, through our application process, we do credit checks on anyone that's 18 or over that's going to be living in the property. It does a criminal history background check. It does a sex offender background check. And, I kind of pre-interview people before they even do the application. And we say, look, if you don't have a credit score of at least X amount, normally we try to shoot for about 600. More than likely, our owner's not going to accept it. If you've ever had criminal history, don't apply, because our owner's not going to accept it.
Right.
And we tell our owners up front, your home may sit on the market an extra day or a week, but in the long run, it'll be much better to have a good quality tenant in the property.
Yeah, patience is a virtue in this situation, because if you just wait just a little bit to get that right tenant, you are so far ahead of the game. Because if you rush into something and say, I got to have some money coming in, and you just take this person who's questionable, and the recommendation from you all is, no, let's wait, and they go ahead and take them. Man, 6 months later, you're going, oh my God, they don't pay. I went over there to check the house, and it's a wreck. I mean, on and on the story
Exactly.
goes.
And that's the thing. Our number one goal is to preserve the home, make sure that it's held up to the highest standards, so that, it's a turnkey thing when they have to go sell in a couple of weeks or a year or 2 years, whenever that time is.
No, I know what you meant. Okay. Well, that is great, because there's people that try to property management their own home long distance, and they have a neighbor checking on it. Some friends of mine said, "Well, yeah, the one around the corner. They left town. They're military." And then we said, "Sure, we'd watch it for them." And then next thing you know, we're putting tenants in there. Next thing you know, we're going over and cleaning the mess after they. And did they pay you? No, they were just doing friendly neighbor stuff. I'm going, oh my God. And they said after a year or two, they finally started paying. No, they actually referred them to a property manager, which they should, because this is serious business.
Joe, when I started, I was 6'6", and now I'm 5'9". They beat me down.
I remember when you were taller, and well, here's what I always say. I mean, I don't relish the thought of 650 property management situations in our office, because nobody's happy. The landlord wishes he was getting more rent, and wishes that he had a longer lease or whatever, and the tenant has always got a problem with the fairness or this or that, and they're not happy that you're not taking care of it perfectly or something. I don't know. It just seems like there's somebody always mad.
Well, there is, but not in all cases.
No,
sometimes people, tensions will rise, and the biggest thing that we offer, along with all of our service, but the biggest thing that we offer is we are a buffer. And
yes.
You have no idea how valuable that is, that I can be a censor from what the owner's trying to say to the tenant, or vice versa. And we can really smooth the waters a lot of times that way. But we've, on 2 occasions, we had instances where owners and tenants exchanged information, and, over spilled milk, just, tempers flared and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're really here to kind of buffer that and keep it as smooth as possible. And, we do a good job.
No,
I'm not in your office, with people screaming at me.
No. We've had very few complaints. That's why I say, no. And I like that. And that's thank you, Lisa. No.
Yes, exactly. That's the appropriate person to thank.
But no. Well, and we've got, like I say, 6 property managers, and they do a great job. We have very few complaints and so forth. But it's just it's an animal that is different than when you're listing a home to sell it and it sells. Everybody's happy, and when you're buying it, working with a buyer,
But it's a necessary animal.
No.
If we didn't have these 600 properties in management, that'd be 600, maybe more foreclosures out there. And that doesn't help anybody.
Maybe not 600, but it'd be 200 or 300 more. Because these people were not getting their rent, which turns into their mortgage payment for them.
Yep.
For the most part.
Like I said, 95% of the people that we have, they need that rent check to make the house payment. And if they don't get it, they're up a creek.
Yeah. Okay. So the credit check and the background check is what? An application fee is $40 or something?
Ours is $40. They can do it online. They can pay with a credit card or debit card, so it's really super convenient. And, we do our best to try and get the results back to the tenant within 24 hours. So they know immediately yes or no, and then they can either, we can start moving forward the lease or go look for another place.
Yeah. Well, that's great system because it's fair that you're not going to give them some false hope until until you have the data. Then you can make the decision. And you don't really make the decision, the landlord or the owner of the property.
No, and that's what I wanted to do, get to is that's one thing that we really offer is the owner is as involved or uninvolved as they want. And most of our owners, they want to be pretty involved, at least initially, with what, who's going in my property, who's going to be living in my home that I lived in for the past 10 years.
Right.
So they really do appreciate getting the results of, the background check and that kind of stuff. And they are open to ask further questions. We do more research if we need to, but honestly, a lot of it's pretty cut and dry. There are a lot of good renters out there right now.
Oh, of course.
And that is so understated.
Of course.
Years and years ago, it just got to be a bad thing that, if you rented, you had crappy credit or, there was just a lot of bad things going on.
But renters got a bad rap.
They did, exactly.
Because,
they got a bad rap.
it's like anything else. There's 100 renters and 10 of them were bad.
Yep.
That what I mean by bad is they didn't pay their rent on time, and they got a pet when they weren't supposed to have a pet.
Yep.
And they smoked in the house when they weren't supposed to, and whatever. And they just weren't playing by the rules. And so, but it's a small percentage. It might even be less than 10%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have a question about the false hope thing. What if I have 3 cats? What are the chances I'm going to find a rental?
Slim and
it's
none.
Tough. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I get calls, and for some reason they seem to be in certain price points, but it's, I'd really like to rent this 2-bedroom place, and I've got 2 Great Danes, a fish, and a cat, and I'm like,
nope.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Most of our owners are very open to having pets. We live in Colorado.
Sure.
Dogs especially. Everybody has a dog, and that's
Sure.
great. But, a lot of tenants that have multiple pets, especially when you get over that 2 mark, a lot of owners are very, very wary of that.
Sure, and I guess I was wondering about cats in particular. It's been a while since I helped tenants, but I remember at one point, right as our market was turning, it was next to impossible to find a place for cats in particular.
Yeah, there's just so many people with allergies out there, and again,
point.
cats kind of get a bad rap, with scratching and spraying and that kind of stuff. But it just seems like at least the markets that we're in, the owners are much more amenable to having dogs than cats.
Okay.
So it's one of those things, unfortunately.
I've got one rental house that I manage myself.
You need a good property manager.
He might.
After this tenant leaves, maybe, but they're fabulous, and they've got several kids. So one day I get the call. They wanted me to come over, so I came over. They take impeccable care of the house. They just are a great family. And so the deal is in the lease, no pets. So she says to me, we've got a situation where we need to get a dog. And I said, well, tell me the situation. Well, one of their children, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, was diagnosed with some kind of epilepsy type thing. It wasn't full epilepsy, but there's a mild epilepsy, whatever. All right, so seizures and different things. And it's been proven in this particular situation that type of person, if they have a service dog by their side the majority of the day, by their bed at night, they have less seizures.
Sure.
You know how long it took me to make that decision?
Faster than you could blink, I would think.
Yeah. It was a yes. But, so, I mean, here's the discussion, and then we can talk about this, because it's real. I mean, this is exactly what was said, because, I said, absolutely. I said, but tell me about the dog. Well, it's 2 years old. This and that. It's been trained. It's potty trained. You know, it goes outside. You know. Listen. I said, how does he do when he eats grass and has to spit up green stuff all over the carpet? And she just was stunned that I said that. I said, we've owned dogs, and they were great about standing by the door, go out, cool. But every now and then they'd get something that they'd eat or chew on or whatever, and their stomach would get, you know, whatever, messed up. And so, you know, next thing, you know, you're just falling asleep, and the dog is at, you know, the end of your bed on the floor, and his pillow.
You hear that
this
sound.
wall. And, oh no, get the bucket or get the paper or something. You know. Don't let him throw up on the carpet. You know, and that's. I said, you know, her name is Tiffany. I said, Tiffany, you just got to promise me that you're going to really watch that part, because the other part, I believe you. You know, he's going to go outside and you're going to pick up the stuff around the yard every week, and everything's going to be good because you guys are great tenants. But this is something that is not normal or doesn't happen all the time, but it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and anybody who's owned a dog knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They upchuck, and that's bad stuff on a carpet because it'll stain it.
Yeah.
You know, so interesting stuff with the tenant landlord property manager in the middle relationships that you have to go through. All right, this is KCBR Radio 1040 AM, 98.5 FM, Real Estate and I-25 Talk Radio. It's time to take a short break. We'll be right back. We're back. Friday, April 18th, Easter weekend coming up. Lots of great things going on in town. Our guest today is Mark Jones, property manager, RE/MAX Properties, works out of our Chapel Hills office. We're having a discussion about property management, landlords, tenants, how you get in, how you get out, pets, all kinds of different things that comes up.
And it's about to get interesting.
Well, during the break, we're saying, what do you want to do next, Mark? He said, well, we have a little issue right now with marijuana. Talk about it, Mark. What do you got going?
Yeah, basically, you know, now that it's legal here in Colorado, there are a lot of people that grow in their house, and that's perfectly acceptable. But there's a lot of issues with, especially if you're in a homeowner association, a townhome, a condo, because of the modifications of the water system, potential mold issues. There's just a whole, just honestly, the stigma of it. I understand that it's legal, but there's a lot of old school people that, you know, you say the word marijuana and their heart half stops, you know.
Yeah, but so your landlord can ask you to put in the, the parameters of the lease requirements that you do not accept a tenant that's going to do those kinds of things. You can even have in the lease saying this is excluded. You can't grow marijuana. What about just smoking it? I mean, smoking, you were saying you don't even allow smoking in any of your units.
Yeah, I mean, it is very clearly stated in our lease 3 times. No smoking. No smoking means no smoking, and no smoking means no smoking of any kind inside our property, in the garages. And we have very severe fines if we do find that. And I mean, a lot of times it is 3 or 4 times the rental amount, because I've got to go in, I've got to repaint.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to do carpet. I've got to clean ductwork.
Well, yeah, because here's why. So it's just so that's not like Mark's being a bad guy. Mark works for the landlord, and he has to re-rent the property. And people walk into a house, and we do this on the sales side too. If somebody's a smoker, you got to clean this up, because the majority of people are not. So the buyer
or at least not inside the property.
Well, that's what I mean. That's right. So here comes a tenant or a buyer for a house, and they walk in and they go, "Oh man, there's been a smoker in here." I mean, they could smell it in 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So what you just said is, I understand. You got to get it all cleaned up and painted, maybe the drapes dry cleaned, or whatever it might be.
It takes a lot.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah. So the smoking of and the growing of in the condo, townhome, I would say anywhere single family is something to be worried about. But really, you got to worry about it with an HOA and a condo where somebody's above you or below you. Oh my God! You got extra plumbing to water the plants with, and a pipe breaks, and now you got water leaking into the ceiling of the neighbor, and oh my word!
Yeah.
Just crazy. I hope I never get that call. We have a problem.
We've been there, done that.
So, but you're not allowing it in any of your units, and I don't
No.
think any of our property managers are. And it just might be, it's time to relook at our lease is about 3 years old with one of the best attorney firms in the state doing that lease for us. Maybe time to get it back to him and that group and have them hit the refresh button because they need to add that. Now we've had meth and radon and those kinds of things in the lease as well as a no-no. Just get a test if you're worried about radon or if you're worried about meth. The way meth ends up in the house is the same way, is that they're not making it there anymore, most likely, but what they are doing is perhaps smoking it.
Right.
And with no smoking in any of your properties, makes sense.
And what
Can't
people
do
don't, a lot of people just don't understand is that when they're smoking it, the house is connected through the ductwork, and the ducts lead to other rooms. And even if you're confined in a room and someone is smoking in that one room, the levels may be higher in that one room, but it spreads throughout the entire house.
Yeah, and when you get into this meth smoking in a house, it's huge dollars to get that mitigated.
Yep.
Huge.
Yep.
Well, and I hope all our listeners understand how terribly dangerous meth is and exposure to it. Right, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, of course. We got to have
when
that
the
house
proper-
clean.
When it becomes contaminated, it's not something you can ignore.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people can move out of a home and, if someone has smoked meth and a new family moves in a year, 2 years, 3 years later, and they just get sick.
They can
for
become
no apparent
terribly
reason,
sick, yes.
and they don't know why until they do these tests and do the mitigation.
So having a property manager do the checks and balances on these things and keep an eye on the property for you and do it right, it costs a little money. About 10% of whatever the rents that come through the door are going to go to the property management company for their hard work. But with that, you get detailed reports of money in, money out for your taxes, because this is a tax situation where you got income coming in, but you got expenses, which can help you with your tax returns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the dollars that you put into it. I mean, some people, they get so broken up that, oh man, the furnace just died or whatever, but they don't understand that, they get to write off that amount, the amount that the fees that we charge. If I do have to send a plumber out, all of those things are tax deductible. And, some of the wealthiest people in America, they own properties, real estate
Yep.
for the tax advantages.
Yeah. There's some depreciation you can take. There's all kinds of things you can do when you have an investment property, which you can't do as you're living there as a single family resident.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And going back to some of our owners, it's a great opportunity for them to invest in the property, bring it up to date, so that when they do sell in 3, 5, 7 years, they used to have a 1990s home that was really dated. If they put some money in it over the course of 5 or 7 years that they're writing off,
Right.
now they got a brand new home, granite, stainless, all the things that new buyers want.
Yeah, because you're fixing it up. Well, it's still an investment
Mm-hmm.
versus your single family personal. So that's a cool way to
Well, can I
fly.
ask about that? Because we started this talking about how many people were forced into
Yes.
being landlords.
Mm-hmm.
That's the majority. But what about people who choose it? Like you say, that owning real estate and taking the tax benefits, there's so many good reasons to choose to own multiple properties and to be a landlord.
Yeah, and let somebody else pay for it.
Yeah. So as a percentage, and maybe this isn't a fair question, what are the chances my house is going to get trashed, right? If I were to turn it into a rental.
I would say, honestly, if you do your due diligence up front, like we talked at the very beginning of the show, and don't necessarily pick the very first person that walks in the door,
Yeah.
I think the chances are extremely low that your house is going to get trashed.
That's great.
Because
it's such a great investment.
And there is going to be normal wear and tear. People live in
Sure.
properties, and we have many, many multi-year leases in place. Carpet wears out, paint thins
Sure.
out, that type of stuff. And, people need to budget for normal wear and tear.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that, they're going to go and put a million holes in the wall and,
Yeah.
pull the refrigerator out of the wall, just do all
replace
these
the carpet
horrible
every year with
Exactly.
a 1-year lease. Okay,
Exactly.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Mark Jones, Remax Properties, 598-4700. You don't want to give him your cell phone, do you?
There's a lot of people that have my cell phone, and I'm glad to answer it. So it means that business is coming in. That's good.
We may not want to put it over the air. I mean, if a tenant's sitting there saying, there's...
I think they may already have his number.
Yeah. All of my tenants and all my owners have my number.
That's great.
If they call and leave a message, if I don't answer and call them back within 24 hours, I tell them I'm either dead or I'm in Mexico drinking a margarita, and I don't care.
Yeah, but you've been great about making sure your business is being covered by somebody while you're gone. You do have to take a trip now and then.
You do. We've got a good staff. I mean, we have Lisa and I, who are the two licensed agents. Yeah. I have a full-time maintenance coordinator. That's all he does is coordinate maintenance.
Oh, my gosh, that's great.
And I have our full-time assistant, Erica, who is an absolute godsend.
Yeah,
so.
You got to have it. That's why people say, oh, man, you get 10%. Well, yeah, but I give away about 6 of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not giveaway, you spend it.
There's overhead, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you need the support. Because you do have to provide the service to the landlord and huge service to the tenant as he's living there. Things happen.
Well, because when we started, that was the number one complaint of property management. Again, Lisa teaches this class, okay? Yes. And the number one complaint that the consumers have about property managers is the lack of communication.
Right.
I don't know what's going on with my property. I got a bill. I don't know what this is about. And that is our number one thing that we do is communicate.
That's phenomenal.
So,
because I think that's the number one complaint of people with their realtor in general, rental or not.
We're talking about property management. There's a former property manager just walked by. He couldn't take it. He got out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're downtown, right here in beautiful downtown Colorado Springs. Oh, my gosh, there's people out. I mean, look at the shoppers, the people going to restaurants.
It is a perfect day.
People walking by with toothpicks in their mouth. They just had a nice lunch somewhere down the street.
Now, I wanted to ask another math question.
Go ahead.
Backtrack to math?
Oh,
math?
No, yeah, please.
So this may also not be a question that you can answer, but we've had a couple of math discussions, even here on the show, Joe. We had... Rocky Mountain Community Land Trust.
Yes.
They talked about the number of homes that they make available for affordable purchase each year, and how about 20% of them, they test them all. They test them all for meth contamination, and about 20% of them come up, with a positive reading.
That's high.
That seemed really scary high.
That's scary
and
high.
Joe, yesterday when we had our environmental hazards expert come and speak,
great class.
He said 45% of the ones he tests. Now I'm thinking, well, that's because somebody asked him to, and that's his job.
Well, yeah, because somebody suspects something.
Right.
Either how the previous tenant or owner left the house.
Sure.
Or there's some clues every now and again. Some tell signs and
yellow stains.
So that's why I say these numbers are all over the place, and it might not be fair to ask you, but do you have any sense of how common it might be and whether a tenant should test before they move in?
I wish I could, and we try to really approach it with this in the same eyes that we have our sales, and we inform the tenant up front of what their rights are. And I'm not representing the tenant, but I want them to know full forward and have confidence in the home that they're getting. And so we try to advise them to do it. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, it's their choice. Obviously we have disclosures from our owners, and our owners, hopefully they're not smoking meth.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes the owner just doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you get blindsided. I mean, I know there was an agent or company that was blindsided by something like that.
That's right.
Yeah. No idea.
Unfortunately, it happens, especially with, I hate to say it, but sometimes kids these days,
Sure.
I mean, you just,
you don't
always know, and how do you control it? I can't be in the property 24/7.
Oh, of course not. No,
and I appreciate what you said about how it's the same with the purchase. It's true. We need to just inform everyone, and then they have their choice.
And it's interesting because before a person goes to closing and buys a home, they get the inspections and all that, and they're testing for radon and all these, which we, of course, highly recommend on every transaction. But in the tenant situation, they go, looks clean, looks good, and they probably don't do it, even though we've got it in our lease.
Mm-hmm. And they have a separate disclosure that they have to sign.
Yeah.
But you're right. A lot of times a tenant is like, "What's the rent? What's the deposit?
Yeah.
When can I move in?"
Yeah. How much is the application?
If I can move in yesterday, that'd be great.
How much is the application fee? When's it available? I tell you, it's a whole new world, the property management world. And if you need help, if you're a landlord, we've got 6 property managers. Mark and Lisa Jones do a great job. can always call them. If you can't get them, we've got others. Just ask for one of our great property property managers. And the thing that a lot of them do, like John Hermes, for example, he doesn't like to go too far north. But you'll go anywhere, won't you? No, not anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, and I kind of drawn my line. I go south, but not into Fountain. We're kind of closing our borders a little bit, just because.
And the reason they do that, it's not because they don't like those areas. It's just because it's the time to get to those different areas from where you're officing or where you're living. You know, so you gotta watch your time.
Yep, and it's taking care of our owners. You know.
All right, this is Real Estate and I-25 Talk Radio. Our guest today, Mark Jones, broker associate, Remax Properties, Chapel Hills Drive. So it's Easter weekend. You all have a great one. Look at this weather. If you can get downtown and support some of these vendors and shops and restaurants down here, that'd be great. KCBR 1040 AM, 98.5 FM. We're going to have a great Easter weekend. Amy, happy Easter.
Yeah, happy Easter to you. Are you going to go to Bear Creek and do Easter
chocolate?
egg hunt?
I'm after that chocolate.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, have a good weekend. Thanks for listening.